See that? That looming entity faintly visible beyond the clouds. That is merely one of its limbs. Quite massive, isn't it? I tried many ways to approach it, but unfortunately, it seemed to be under the protection of something whose nature surpasses that of the planet. I've even tried to fly up high, but due to what I can only assume insufficient authority, I wasn't able to get even a millimeter closer. Suddenly, the words of the artist rushed back to Fu Hua. If the Vitas are derived from Sa, then their authority. Yes, their authority. As the authorization of representatives overlaps somewhat with those of the creator, perhaps we can utilize our authorization to counter the creator. Is that right? At some point, the Vitas returned to the entrance of the bedroom. This time, we might have truly uncovered the creator's weakness. Blue, you're all back. How long have you been eavesdropping? Just now we had heard Fu Hua talking about authorization. Is that so? That's fantastic, Grisil. The children haven't figured it out yet. Is there anything that should remain undiscovered? Fu Hua disregarded Vita's untimely humor and looked at the little Vitas. You mentioned uncovering the creator's weakness. What's the whole story exactly? Well, to be precise, we didn't uncover it. We just put our heads together and worked it out. While we were revisiting the arc, that sense of deja vu intensified. Vita, she was correct. Our memories were all over the place before, and the history we'd patched together lacked a clear sequence. Sudden beginnings, recurring lifetimes, and abrupt apocalypses that had all left scattered fragments of memories strewn across our minds. Yet, this starting point helped bridge the gap between those memories, giving us a framework to grasp everything that's happened. And because of that, while we were exploring, we started to reconstruct the history of this planet, pondering our roles in different civilizations, and strive to learn from our past mishaps. Even though it was always us who brought the Creator's severe punishment to Phosphorus each time. It wasn't actually our fault. We wanted to protect Phosphorus more than anyone else. The ones responsible for sabotaging this mission were not us, but the Creator. They controlled Vita, implanted false rules, and handed us the key of destruction. Perhaps they aren't doing it on purpose, but to us, even if they did create this world, they become the enemy of us because of this. And this got us thinking, since we got the Creator's keys, that means we can summon them and face their judgment, just like in that recent Honkai event. And that, of course, means the keys in our hand are somewhat directly linked to the Creator. After Blue came up with this, I immediately rushed back to everyone, and then I overheard Fu Hua discussing authorization. Can you explain that further, Fu Hua? Fu Hua left out the story of the Vita's birth and instead share the conclusion they had all suspected. In other words, the authorization granted to you by Sa was separated from their own. The authorization you hold shares the same root as Sa's, albeit with more constraints. And according to Vita, Sa has been continuously eliminating the redundant parts. As a colossal entity, they must rely on a multitude of logic mechanisms to make detailed choices. So we can not only summon the Creator's judgment, but theoretically, we can also use the logical flaws and imperfections inherent in these decision-making mechanisms to counter the Creator. So does that mean we've discovered the Creator's weakness? We just need to use our authority. Hold your horses, Little Red. Although this plan is theoretically viable, just creating a gateway close to the Creator's true form using only your authorization won't suffice. You lack the required energy and authority to open such a passage. So why not get someone with such capability to do it? Fuhuan and Grisil, we've decided to transfer all our authorizations to you. You're capable combatants. That way, you can neutralize the Creator's threat to Phosphorus. After much consideration, we came to the consensus. In accordance with Vita's gathering rules, we have unanimously decided. The representative's authorization. But for you, for us, the authorization is undoubtedly essential, and if currently the city's code won't allow authorization to be transferred, so there's potential for severe consequences if we fail. Still, even Green, the stickler for rules, has given her nod of approval, so that means we're good to go, right? We're all of the opinion that safeguarding Phosphorus takes precedence over authority. My intuition tells me that trusting the authorization to you is the right call, since you're both so trustworthy and reliable. Absolutely. Even when we were in the dark, unable to tell friends from foes due to losing our memories, both of you extended your hands to help us without hesitation. While we may have lost memories of our moments spent with Fuhua, we still feel like it was a joyful and unforgettable time. So we unanimously agree. Consider it the most prestigious honor. In reality, we have no choice but to have you two fight for us. We're useless in combat and can only contribute a little. You've already done the best you can. We cannot ask for more. When a crisis unfolds, not everyone is armed and ready to fight. You might have a wrench, a test tube, or a pen at your disposal. As long as you can recognize the value of those items and give it your all when the opportunity arises, then you have a shot at defeating the enemies who seem much more powerful than you. That makes sense. You're just as clever as I thought, little siblings. That's a very clever way of looking at it. I agree that this plan may work. Go ahead and do your best. This plan... Is there anything I haven't noticed? Will this alter her attitude? After a brief moment of hesitation, Fuhua shook her head to clear any lingering doubts. She won't tell the truth if I ask her, and as she mentioned before, if the plan has any flaws, we're all in this together. Well then,
我们
let's
就按照这
proceed
个计
with
划
this
行动吧。
plan. To
具
be
体来
more
说，
specific,
如果以接近所有的本体
assuming
组为
we're
前
getting
提，
closer to Sa's
我们
true
需要一个
form,
人专心
we
铺
need
设通
someone
道，
to lay down the
另一个
green
人负责开路前
work
进。
for the passageway, while another take charge of
不
advancing.
理性，
Gricia,
掌
with
控
your
由精神力
mastery of
量组成的权器，
authorization
铺设具
composed
象
of
的道路，
spiritual power,
你应该比
you
我更
should
擅
be
长。
better at
我
creating
作
a
为头领，
concrete
更容易被
path.
传送，
As a holo
对付敌人时的
projection,
顾忌也
I'm
更少。
easier to transport with few constraints when dealing with enemies.
作为最初的
As
尝
our
试，
first attempt,
就由我负
we'll
责开
take the
路，
role of
你
forging
负责接受小
ahead
敌
while
们传递的权
you
息，不知
handle
道
receiving the
这样没问
Vita's
题。
transfer authorization and lay the path. Does that sound good to you?
没
No
问题。
problem.
至于你，
As for you,
啊，
why are you
你们看我做什
all
么？
looking at me?
抱
Sorry,
歉，
there's no way I
不
can
管
lay
是
the
铺设
path
通
or
道
help
还是开路
battle our
战
way
斗，
through.
我显然都
I'm
爱莫能助。
useless in those matters.
毕竟我只是一
After
个
all,
技
I'm
能
just
无
a
下的
gas
柔弱
holo
头领，
projection,
总
and
不
I
能让
can't
我可
create
以
a
当水
virtual
里的人，
path or
或
help
者
you
帮你改
fight
变
radio
魔怪。
wave monsters, can I?
你在这里
You're
确实
just
只
a
是个
holo
头领。
projection in this
不过，
place, but
虽然
while
你的
you've
本体被
been
禁止接近
prohibited
佛斯，
from approaching
可接
phosphorus,
下来
we'll
我
most
们都把
likely
会在弗洛
confront
斯
your
之外迎击你的创世神。
creator beyond phosphorus
到那时，
next. When
你
that
会亲自
time
现身，
comes,
协
you
助我们战
will
斗。
personally assist us in battles.
哎
Well,
呀，
it's not
难得
every
父王
day
这
that
么
a
热
great
情的邀请
detective
我，
extends such a warm invitation.
但是
But no,
不行不
that's a
行，
no-go.
真的办不到。前段
I
时间
lost
切
the
断连接
authority to
后，
approach
我
the
就失去接近
creator
创世神
after
的
our
权限，
connection was cut
不
some
然也
time
不需要
ago.
有小 Vita 来帮你们。
Otherwise, the Vitas wouldn't have to help you now.
而且
As I mentioned
如前所
earlier,
说，
my
我
primary
的本
form
体被
took a
狠狠地
severe
惩罚了。
beating,
现在
so
是真
I'm
的
incredibly
很虚弱，
frail,
很虚弱，
extremely so in
很虚
fact.
弱。让我
If you
上前
send me
线，
into
到
battle,
时候
the
创世神
creator
一
could
弹手
snap
指，
their
我
finger
就整个
and
人都
make
没
me
了。
vanish completely.
所
So
以
it's not that
真
I'm
不是我不想
willing
帮你们，
to
而是缺点
lend a
帮不上
hand,
忙。
but I wouldn't be very helpful to do it. But don't worry,
放心放心，
since my adorable
既然我
Vitas
可
are
爱的小 V 他
giving
们能
it
比
their
上权
all,
力，
how can I
你
just
怎么
stand
会
by
袖
and
手旁观？
watch?
我还是能
I
帮
can
上
still
你们一
help
个忙，
you in one way
可以帮
by
你们
lifting
解
the
除太
lock
原
on
权
the
限的锁，
representative's
解除锁定。
authorization. Lifting the lock.
那么重要的
The
权限，
creator has
创世
locked
神
those
肯定会
crucial
给他上好保险
authorizations
啊。
down tight.
但
Even
凡有点编程经验的
inexperienced
人都不
coder
会忘
wouldn't
记的。
overlook
所
that.
以，小
Transferring
他
those
们没办法直
authorities
接传让权
directly
限。
is no go.
我看解
That's
说的对，
right. We
我们
hashed
之
this
前也
out
讨论过这个问
earlier,
题。
and the verdict was
结论是，
Vita must have a card up her
丽塔姐
sleeve.
肯定会有办法。
Looks
大
like
家
we're
跟我还
all
真是
on
默
the
契，
same wavelength
所以接下
here.
来
Here's
我
the
就要为大
deal.
家的权
I
限解
need
锁。
to unlock your authority, but
不好
I'm
意思，
afraid I
我
can't
一
do
个
that
人还不
alone.
够，得雷兄，
Gricio, it
咱们
looks
可不可以
like
再
it's
亲密
time
合
for
作一
another
次？
intimate team up.
接下来
Next
我
up,
会引
I'll
导
be
你
your
进入小
guide
维
into
塔
the
们共
shared
同的精神
mentor
世界。
realm of the Vitas,
简单来说，就是一个
where
会把
staff
所有预设
security
的防御
measures
措施
become
具象化的
real.
空间。你只需要通过
Your
一些
job
强
is to
硬的手
deal with
段
the security
处理掉里面的
system.
保护
You
装
can
置就
use
行了。
brute force.
思路我明白，
I understand your
但
plan,
为
but
什么是
why
我？
me?
开启精神世
I've
界已
taken
经是
my
我的极
mental
限了，
escapade to the
根本没
limit.
办法在群里面
As
痛打创世
for
神的手腕。
Fuhua, while she might
我
pack a
比
punch
潜在
and
的成
come
本能力
back,
更强，
she's still a
但对精神
semi-holo
硬汉的未知
projection
无
with
法完全
unpredictable
投入。
traits.
无论从我的个
Looking
人
at
期
what's best
望
for
还是
me
对
and the
节目
current
的实际出
reality,
发，
this
这项
mission
工
is
作
all
都会
yours,
被雷松
Gricio.
说。好吧，
Alright,
我
I
明白
see.
了。那
Then I'll
那
leave
你就先
you
带头
in
领吧，
charge of the
福华姐
outside,
姐。
Fuhua. Okay,
其
you're
实你们
up
里的
for the
战斗
mentor
你一
realm
定没问
fight,
题，
no doubt.
不
Make
过还是
sure
慎
you
重行
stay
事。
sharp. If
一旦
things
有
go
无法
off
控制的
rail,
情况出
leave it
现，
to me.
不要恋战，交给我来处理。好，
Alright,
没
no
问题。
problem.
所以
Now,
你要怎么
how are
引
you
导我？
going to walk me through this?
很简单，
It's
你跟我来
pretty
就好。
simple, just follow me. This place
Vita,
is...
你在吗？
Vita, are
这
you
是怎么回
here?
事
What's happening?
？Vita，
Vita,
这该不会是什么陷阱？
don't tell me this is some sort of trap.
不过，
Those
之前的梦境里
monsters
可没有
weren't
这
in
些
the
怪物。
dreams I had before.
到底是怎么回事？
What's going on?
难道说
Could it be?
交给我吧？小心点。
It wasn't until Grisil dealt with those sudden Paradise Guard attackers that Vita's voice appeared, all cool and collected. Wow, Grisil's got some serious skills, taking out those guys so quickly. Looks like I was right after all. Vita, what's really going on here? It's just as we discussed. I'm getting you into the Vita's mental realm, and your job is to handle the security systems here. Maybe you were thrown off to begin with because this mental realm looks too much like your own dreams. This is the Vita's mental realm, but not my art studio. It's not that hard to know this fact. Never mind. Tell me where the next batch of Paradise Wardens are. I don't want to drag things out too long and weigh the little Vitas down mentally. Oh, so that's what's bugging you. Alright. I'll be your guide. These Paradise Wardens are definitely different from the ones outside, not just in terms of their physical and mental forms. For the sake of phosphorus, unraveling the world's truth is a must. Are those the Vita's voices? I won't let it all end like this. We're making progress. Keep it up, Grisil. We can't just let it end like this. Our city. We could have created so many more memories. Everyone, the Vita's home. This is the final barrier, Grisil. Destroy it, and we'll unlock the representative's authorization. It's really different from before. If this is the safeguard that Sa left behind, then those from earlier, could they be? They knew it from the start? I can't let everyone down. It's over. Awesome! You did an amazing job, Grisil. The lock on the representative's authorization has been entirely lifted, and they're now free. Perhaps I'm explaining too much. You're able to see through the surface, after all. Anyway, let's wrap things up here and head back. The others are waiting for us. She felt as though her consciousness was rising from the sea. She could hear countless familiar and strange voices. Fear and trepidation, pain, desire, and an unwillingness to move on. There were quiet sobs and sighs of despair. Before she could understand, they disappeared into the sea all at once, like a television being shut off. Then, her consciousness finally emerged. Reopening her eyes, Grisel found herself seated on the bed in her bedroom. The 7-Betas encircled her, with Beta's holo projection at their side. What?
这是
Grisel's awake! Great work, Grisel. Did it all go smoothly? Absolutely. You should now have full control over the representative's authorization. You can sense that, right? Grisel gazed at the Vitas. They were all wearing a similar look, a blend of childlike innocence, the gravitas befitting representatives, and the unwavering resolve expected of project deliverance enforcers. Yes, we can feel it. It's like a heavy burden that's been weighing on our chest just vanished in an instant. It's probably because the keys hanging on our chest have genuinely become lighter, even though I don't quite understand the mechanics behind it. Seeing Voracious Vita, Grisel felt a change within herself. So, everyone, are we ready to transfer the authorization now?
转移权限了。
As a safety measure, we should do a bit of fine-tuning. We need to synchronize the status of the authorization among the 7 of us first. None of us has experience with this kind of transfer, so just in case something goes south, we should be extra careful. This won't harm you, right? Of course not. Yellow, what's your take on this? Don't fret, Grisel. This operation is perfectly safe. Transferring authorization won't pose any threat to us. Even if it doesn't go as planned, there won't be any life-threatening risks. Alright, I got it.
我知道了。
So, when we're all set, we'll come to you.
姐姐，就拜托你们了。
We'll leave it to you then. By the way, where did Fuhua disappear
福
to?
华姐姐又到哪里去了？
She just said, since you guys still need some fine-tuning, I'll go fine-tune myself. Then went off to the Ark's bridge, all on her own. Fine-tune herself?
状态。
Fuhua?
福华姐姐，
I overheard her talking about trying to evoke some artificial elements while in holo projection mode. Grisel should be ready soon,
接下来
and then it will all be up to me.
对手是盘踞
My
在量子
opponent
差
is a
异的
colossal evil lurking in the sea of quanta, and all I have is a mere holo projection. But here's the silver lining.
期间
Up until now, this holo projection seemed to have been cooperating with me, constantly unveiling my untapped potential. So this time,
从一开
let
始
me give it our all from the get-go. Fuhua has never shied away from a life and death battle. Throughout her long and eventful life, fighting for one's life has been but an occasional challenge she faced. If anything, no one could know that someone like her would hesitate to confront a formidable foe before stepping into the battlefield. It almost sounds unbelievable. However, due to her extensive experience on the battlefield, Fu Huan also understands that courage doesn't equate to recklessness. She's long past the days of blindly turning herself into a monster and charging into battle without a second thought. She's moved beyond that era, that period, and that chapter of her life. Her current fight isn't about some distant future, it's about protecting the tangible presence that belongs to everyone. So she must, and she firmly believes she can, control and harness that formidable power that's dreaded by all, even though she's just a hollow projection. For the sake of her friends and herself. Garuda, come forth. Under the gaze of the creator, it usually took a mere second for all the previous efforts to end up fruitless. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever has not, from him shall be taken away even what he has. Said the Creator.